Hey, Up TV, Troy Dunn here. So excited to be going live on Up TV's Facebook page today. Hello to wherever you are, whoever you are. If you're not familiar with my work on television, I'm the Locator. We reunite people with long lost friends and family members. I've done that for 28 years in various ways and continue to do it today. In a few minutes, I'm going to answer some family relationship questions. Some of you sent some in early. Some of you can send them in right now. And I've got my little team here who will draw them to my attention. But before we do that, I want to tell you something very exciting, big news, and that is that my series, The Locator, and my other series, wait a minute, we're doing Last Hope. Yeah, Last Hope. Sorry, there was another one out there. My show, The Locator, and Last Hope, both are now available as of today, right now, on the Up TV Faith and Family app. Now, you're probably, if you're a fan of Up TV like I am, then you probably are familiar with the app. But if you're not, let me tell you about it, because it's different than the television network, right? You can watch the television network, but you can also download Up Faith and Family, which is like having Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus. It's something like that. It's its own beautiful destination, and it's called Up Faith and Family. So go into your app store, wherever you get apps, search Up Faith and Family. I have it on my phone. My family has it on their phones. And although I hardly ever watch it on my phone because we stream it over, or we Bluetooth it over to our television so we can watch it in the home theater, but it is amazing content. And I'm not saying that just because two of my series are on there, but there is a ton. Let me see if I can show this to you here. So this is what the app looks like, right? You see that? Up Faith and Family. And then it is show after show after show, all sorts of topics, all sorts of genres, shows that'll make you laugh, shows that'll make you cry, shows that'll make you think, shows that'll grow your faith. It is really incredible. If you're one of those families that streams content, then this is the one you need for your family. Up Faith and Family. It is for those of us in the world who still care and want family-friendly content. It's great content, a lot of drama, a lot of comedy, a lot of great content, but something you can do with the whole family. And I can tell you, we have Netflix. Not a whole lot that we can watch together as a family on Netflix, I'll say that. Up Faith and Family, 24 hours a day, your family can sit together and enjoy great content, whatever it is that you're into. And yes, it just so happens that my shows, The Locator and Last Hope, are both on there. Every episode. There are, I don't know what there are, 30 or 40 locators on there. Actually, I haven't even looked to see where it's at. No, it's here right when I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Oh, I could do the search. There's a little search button. All right, we'll search for it. So, The Locator. There it pops right up. There they are. Episode after episode after episode. And if you're not familiar, I know that glare is terrible, right? If you're not familiar with my show, we are approached by people who are in various situations trying to find a long-lost friend or family member. It could be adoption, it can be abduction, it can be lost loves, military, it can be dying wishes, military buddies. Pretty much, I'm convinced half the world's looking for the other half. And every day, hundreds of people reach out and ask for our help. And some of those are captured with a camera crew, and you get to see it unfold in real time. And let me tell you something about our show. When you go to watch this, I want you to keep this in mind. When you go to your Up Faith and Family app and you watch The Locator or you watch Last Hope, you are watching what is something that is very rare in reality television, and that is that you're watching real television, something that is actually happening. There's no actors, there's no scripts, there's no faking it, there's no direction. The cameras follow me and my team as we go out into the world to try and find these long lost family members. They all have differing results. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I just want you to know, and I think you'll sense it, and I know your heart will feel it as you watch these episodes and you see these families as they find out that we have or haven't been able to find their long lost loved one. And it will touch your heart. And I would say this, whether you're a man, woman, or child, The Locator and Last Hope are shows that you only watch in the peace and quiet of your home or your car with tissue. And if you shed some tears, just know this, they'll be good tears and it will feel good to you. It will leave you with a greater appreciation for the people in your life, the relationships in your life. And who knows, some of you are probably going to see an episode of the show and then reach out to my team and go, wait, there's somebody that I want to reunite with. There's somebody I want to find. And you could be the next one. We're getting them all the time. Now, we don't have, back in the day, we had a business that did this. We had a company that did this, but we sold that years ago to ancestry.com. And after we did that, it just became our life's work. And so we now have a nonprofit foundation. So every family we reunite now goes through our foundation. I was just out 2 weeks ago, I think, with my dear friend, Dr. Phil. I'm not trying to be a name dropper, but he really supports our work. And we reunited a family over on his show. And that miracle took place. I mean, I think of them as miracles, but it's God's work. That took place on Dr. Phil, but it went through our foundation. So I tell you that to tell you this. If you or someone you know wants to be reunited with a long lost friend or family member, you can reach out to us. Our foundation's website is very simple. It's thelocator.org, thelocator.org. And you can tell us your story. If you're not looking for a long lost loved one, but you would love to be a part of the work we're doing and be a volunteer and help us tell the great stories and reach more people, great. You can still go to thelocator.org and you can be a volunteer, and you'll see all sorts of options there. If you are somebody who wants to empower us to be able to reunite more families, then we would humbly ask you to consider making a donation to the foundation. Whether it's $1 or it's $1 million, I wish it was $1 million. If it's $1 million, I'm going to fly to your house and personally thank you and take you to dinner. But whatever the amount is, we treat those dollars as sacred funds. We put them all towards reuniting families. We have more families currently asking for help than we have funds to be able to grant those wishes. So you can literally create a miracle in the life of another person by making a donation to the Locator Foundation. And we hope you'll do that. Now, one of the things I promised I would do while we were here live. So a lot of people think that all we do is reunite people. What they don't understand, I'll take you behind the scenes for a second here, is that the reunion, when you watch one of these episodes on Up TV's Faith and Family app, which by now, by the way, we've been talking for several minutes, you should have downloaded. You should have it open and logged in so you can see all of this great content that we're on here. But anyway, if you seriously get the app, your family will thank you. We watch them on Sunday afternoons. That's when we usually pop it open and have a special family watch. But what people don't realize when we're doing the reunion process is that we do 90% relationship repair, 10% reunion. There's lots of people that can say to person A, person B, there they are, hug each other, right? Happens all the time. Facebook does it all the time. However, the hard work, the real work, is in trying to rebuild fractured relationships. And that's what we have kind of gotten pretty good at over the years. I mean, I don't really keep count of how many of these are, but I'm being told by others that we have reunited over 40,000 families over the course of our work. If you do anything 40,000 times, you start to get the hang of it. And you start to see patterns. And in people's relationships, we see patterns. I think of it as an unfair advantage, because in my own marriage and my own raising my own children, and even in my work relationships, having seen what breaks apart other people's relationships gives me an unfair advantage to know what to do in my own. And, we're not perfect parents or a perfect marriage or anything, but we have had a front row seat to a lot of absolutely amazing families having the courage to come back together and rebuild something. You will have that same front row seat as you watch The Locator and Last Hope on Up Faith and Family. So with that being said, we do have opinions here on ways to work on and fix and repair and take care of relationships. And so some of you sent some questions in earlier. You were asked for those, and I've got a few of them in front of me here I'm going to pull up and read and respond to. But if you have one as you're sitting here watching this, something you want to ask, feel free to ask. It could be about a relationship. It can be anything about our show. Yeah, whatever you want. I don't mind sharing any behind the scenes ideas about our show. Okay. Oh, you tape those up. All right. So I'm going to look over here and find, okay, Troy, what is the best approach to mending a relationship between two family members that are no longer speaking? That's big. There are a lot of people who find themselves in that situation. And there are a lot of people who will find themselves in that situation, because sometimes when people get into a disagreement, they don't feel in their mind they can become happy or have it resolved until they've been proven right. And I feel like the attempt to be right is the number one cause for people to become alone. Those who seek after continuous validation of their rightness end up isolating themselves from people. And one of the things that I'm a huge proponent of is redemption and forgiveness. And forgiveness sometimes is as hard to give as it is to ask for. So if there are two people who haven't spoken in a very long time, and it's time for that silence to end, there's really only one way for that to be repaired. And I'll tell you what it isn't. It isn't everybody else in the family pushing the two of them together and making it weird and awkward and playing referee and all of that. It's one of those two people have to have the courage and the humility to reach out to the other one. And maybe it's reaching out multiple times, right? You might think to yourself, well, I reached out once. It's his problem now. It's her problem now. Some people's suffering has pushed them further away than you realize, and it may take more than one reach to pull them in. If you're committed and serious about rebuilding that relationship, there is no number of times you aren't going to be willing to reach out, because as long as you live, you're going to want that person back in your life, and you'll continue to make efforts to pull them in. But when you do that, when you reach out to somebody who has been absent from your life and there needs to be repair work done, here's what you don't do. You don't rehash anything that had to do with any part of the agreement. There is nothing to be gained. And I'm sure that there are therapists who will say that is not true, sweeping it under the rug. I'm not saying sweep it under the rug. I'm saying leave the past in the past and move forward. And they might disagree. Somebody will tell you, and there'll be people here who might disagree. But a lot of these people haven't rebuilt 40,000 relationships. I'm telling you that the path forward is in front of you, not behind you. So reach out to that long lost person and tell them that you have missed them in your life, that you don't want to have anything to do with anything that happened in the past. You don't want to discuss it. You don't want to cast blame in one direction or another. You just want them in your life. Tell them you love them. Tell them how much you look forward to spending the rest of your life back with them, and just stay forward. And even if that individual who does respond to you tries to pull you backwards into whatever happened in the past, resist that. Not aggressively, not negatively, just no matter what they say, you just say, I'm going to tell you again, I love you, I want you in my life, and I'd love you to come over. Or or I'll come pick you up and we'll go to dinner or whatever. Stay facing forward. That is the fastest way to rebuild an old wound. Looking at my list of questions over here from you. Advice, yeah, keep a family connected. I mean, that one's pretty simple, right? Any advice on how to keep a family connected that lives across the country from each other? Yeah, do what you and I are doing right now. Use technology to stay connected. Make continuous outreaches. Share the little things with one another. You know, the high school reunion industry has plummeted because it used to be, for those of you who are older, it used to be that once you graduated high school and moved on with your life, most of those people you never saw again. And so you go back 10 year, 20 year, 30 year and be like, oh my gosh, you got to go see who got fat and who got bald and who got married and who got divorced and who got a facelift and who got a great job and, you know, all those things, who has kids, who has dogs. All of that, 100% of that now is happening in real time in social media. And so people feel connected. And it's caused a lot of people to be able to retain relationships longer, that without all this great technology that we've been blessed with, they may have lost track of each other and seen each other once every 10 years. So it goes with having family a long ways away. We should remain continuous. I have an amazing brother, Travis, who lives in another state, and we talk often, mucho often. Is mucho? I don't know. Did I use that right? No, we talk a lot. Sorry, that was the extent of my Spanish. Anyway, so yeah, continuous communication keeps a continuous relationship. Let me go down some of these other questions. What's your take on kids and allowance? I feel like that was teed up just for me. Should it be chore-based, and should a portion of it be mandated to be saved? I cannot even answer this question, because if I start to, it'll take you and I 30 minutes and I'm not allowed to be here that long. But I'll give you the short version. And this is not a shameless plug for a book, because I don't even know if the book's still available. But I did write a book called Young Bucks: How to Raise a Future Millionaire. And it is entirely committed to helping parents retrain their brain on the way they think about their children and money. We are dead against allowance. Dead against allowance. There is no, I have 8 children, 6 boys, 2 girls. My oldest is 29. My youngest is 7. Did I say the right ages? They're all having birthdays every year, so it's hard to keep track of. But anyway, it's 29 to 7. Not a one of them has ever received an allowance, for the same reasons I didn't, which my father raised me as. And we subscribe completely to that philosophy, which is this. You don't pay your mom and I to prepare dinner and drive you to soccer practice and blah, blah, blah. We are not going to pay you to help load the dishwasher and take out the trash. That is what we do as a family. As a family, we work together to do what's got to get done. Now, that being said, I do think it's important for kids to have access to money, but it's money they earn. And I'm not talking about making them go out and get a job at fast food, because you can't even do that till you're 16 or whatever. So in my book, Young Bucks, we take you through every stage and every age of a child and how you can help them and empower them with the tools to learn to earn. And it doesn't matter your financial situation, whether you've been blessed economically or you are living day to day. Your financial situation does not have to automatically be your child's financial situation, right? I grew up so often hearing my parents say, you know, I'm really sorry, but we can't afford that. Until eventually they started to change the way they said that. And it was, well, how much is that thing you want? It's $10. Okay, well, when we get home, let's talk about what you could do to earn $10. And suddenly we realized we have the ability to buy anything we want. It's all we're willing to work for it. And that carried into adulthood. My children, I don't want to brag on them, but they're all very successful people. And yeah, so I'm dead against allowance, which I realize no child wants me to say to you, but go check out the book, Young Bucks, and you'll see the whole thing. Okay, hold on, more questions coming in. From Paula Sue. I filled out a volunteer form and never heard back. Is there anything else I can do? There's nothing else you can do. Just know that the Locator Foundation, which is in its first year, is anxiously trying to grow and reach and stretch. And right now we're so overwhelmed with people asking for help and searching that we almost haven't had time to come up and take a breath. But that being said, we are in the process of starting to get more organized and helping empower our volunteers, because we need you desperately. Whether you can help us raise more funds so we can grant more wishes, or whether you can work with us right here in social media and help us get the word out and tell the stories. So thank you for volunteering. Know that we received your application, and the odds are very high that there is absolutely something you can do for the Locator Foundation. And thank you for that. I deeply appreciate that. What is that Zandra Seidner? Am I saying that right, do you think? Zandra Seidner says, what is the most spectacular reunion you have ever done? I don't know that I can actually answer that, because every time I walk away from a reunion, I feel like that was the most incredible experience of my life, and then we go into the next one. I certainly think there is an episode of Last Hope that is when it originally aired, it was a special. It was an extra long episode, and it's about the most horrific child abuse case in the history of the city of Chicago. And that unfolds, and you can go watch that. If I knew the name of the episode, I'd tell you, but just go watch every episode. I mean, next time somebody says to you, what are you binging right now? You say, I'm binging The Locator and Last Hope on Up, Faith, and Family. That's what you tell them. And they'll be like, what is that? And then they'll feel stupid, because you now know one of the coolest streaming platforms in television, which is Up, Faith, and Family, a place where you can watch really great, powerful content and not have to make any apologies when your children come in the room. Can you imagine that? Imagine an entire network where everything you watch you can do without ever having to pause it as soon as the kids come in the room. You can have them come sit on the couch at the end. They'll love it. It's for everybody. So anyway, I would say that story, which you guys will watch, and then you can come back here and comment and tell me if it's not the most amazing thing. I mean, these children were left in an apartment in Chicago by themselves for an extended period of time, many, many months, alone in an apartment as small children, living in their own filth and their own mess and finding their own food, and nobody knowing that there were no adults in there. And then when they finally got discovered, they took all those children out and separated them and sent them all away, and they never saw each other again until they reached out to us as middle-aged adults. Watching those siblings rediscover each other will be one of the most profound things you've ever seen in your life. That I promise you. And you can only see that happen on Up, Faith, and Family. Okay, next question. I know I won't be able to get to all of these. She's trying to... Okay, so a bunch of these look like they're going to be people asking for help and finding somebody. And I want to tell you, up until this year, the answer has been, unless we were in production on a television show, we weren't able to help very many people, because it was through the power of television that we had the resources, the financial resources to grant wishes for folks. Now with the foundation, the Locator Foundation, we are helping people every single day. So if you're reaching out to us right here during this live broadcast and saying, I have somebody I want to find, thelocator.org. That's my answer. We'd be happy to hear from you. Love to hear from you. Just know that we can only reunite families as fast as we receive the funding in order to do that. We're not going to ask you to pay money. It's not a requirement. Many, in fact, I would say right now, most of the folks are paying little to nothing for our help. But then that means we have to find generous people who the Lord's blessed with a lot of financial resources. And I still have a prayer that out there somewhere is a corporation or a wealthy family who can just take us into their arms and adopt us and say, we will cover all the families you ever want to reunite. That would almost make me drop dead. I'd be so amazed. So I'm not suggesting anybody here can do that, but if it turns out that you are the miracle we're praying for, reach out to us at thelocator.org. Okay, read that one. Oh gosh. Ada Torres says, how can I forgive my biological mother when she abandoned me when I was 13 years old? Forgiveness is a personal choice and a gift. And I know that you know this, but when you forgive somebody, you're unloading a tremendous burden off of yourself. Whether they receive it or not, whether they deserve it or not, you can actually, and maybe this is not the right thing to say, but I'm going to be truthful for you, even in a selfish way, forgiving somebody is good for you. It is never not a healthy thing to do, to forgive somebody. What happens after that? Who knows? Whether they receive it or not, whether it turns into a renewed relationship or it just brings you the peace of knowing that you no longer have to carry that in your heart. There are plenty of people who have reasons to be upset with their parents from their childhood. I'm sure there are kids in my family who have reasons to be upset with Jennifer and I, because all of us parents come into this as rookies. We're knowing nothing, making mistakes, remaining human. But at some point you have to decide, I don't want to drag that through my life, right? It's just baggage. So I would encourage unconditional forgiveness. Doesn't mean it's not forgiving somebody for doing something does not mean you're validating it or that you are approving it. It just means you've decided to no longer carry that burden. I think it's a brave thing to do. How have you used technology in your journeys? Oh my gosh, we are all about the DNA now. You know, people often will say to me, so now that there's the internet and all these places and Facebook and Google, you guys must not be able to have anything to do anymore. I'm like, it's the opposite of that. Before the internet, because that's how old we are, we've been doing this since the very early 90s, when there was no active internet. The easiest cases in the world sometimes came to us because people didn't have any access to anything except a phone book and microfiche. And for you young people, ask your grandparents what phone books and microfiche are. I don't have time to explain it. But now, most people like you and I can get online and we can search for people and we can look people up on Facebook. And so all the easy work goes away. So now by the time somebody reaches the Locator Foundation, they're in a desperate situation. They've tried and exhausted everything. And sometimes there's urgency and emergency behind it. So DNA has been very, very helpful. I would say to all of you, if you haven't gotten a DNA test, you should get a DNA test. Not necessarily because you need to find somebody, just to have that information and know that about your heritage. I am not officially associated with Ancestry.com. It's been years since we sold them our company. But between Ancestry.com and 23andMe, I think those are great organizations, and I think that you should get a DNA test. And then just watch the information come in and see if there's anything in there that's of interest to you, that you want to utilize. Yeah, I don't think I can do any more. How long have we been going? I don't want to be on here too long and waste everybody's time. Let me see if I found that episode. There was an episode I was going to tell you about. I can't find it. Well, let me give you a couple quick behind the scenes tidbits before we end this live. And if Hannah has anything else, is there anything else you want me to see? Okay. All right. By the way, come over here and say hi. So I want you to meet Hannah Dunn. Come over here. Look at that beautiful girl. Hannah is my daughter-in-law to my son, Treston. One of those manly dudes that can grow facial hair. Come here, Treston.
Show off the beard.
Look at that. I couldn't grow that beard to save my life.
Proud of it.
Some people say we look alike. I don't know if you see it or not.
You can see it.
Can you?
Yeah.
Treston and Hannah, as well as other members of our family, are anxiously engaged in the Locator Foundation and have become a part of the family work, and frankly, are a big part of the wishes that we're currently granting for those people who come through the foundation. So it's very possible you will end up interacting with one of these two people or other members in the Dunn family, although we have some others who are not family members but feel like family. We've got some researchers that are definitely like family to me. And everybody involved in the foundation is passionate about the work we do. So, by the way, before I push them off camera, Hannah here is expecting our third grandchild.
A little boy.
Little boy. And due when?
May, end of May this year. So it's coming up soon.
So the Locator is about to beat Grandpa for the third time. That's how amazingly blessed my life is. Okay, get out of here. Anyway, I just wanted you to say hi to the people behind the scenes who and Tristan, by the way, has worked with me on, I think, every series I've done on television. And very often when you watch on Faith and Family, the #1 streaming app, oops, I've started an episode. Look. Okay, I should turn that off. Anyway, very often when you're watching an episode of The Locator or Last Hope, you won't see Tristan, but he's right off camera somewhere. Although wait a minute, that's not true. The oldest episodes of The Locator, you don't want me to tell them this, do you? The oldest episode of The Locator, the oldest ones, the season 1, you are going to see all of my children in various stages of childhood, as well as my drop-dead gorgeous wife, Jennifer, who is my high school sweetheart of 31 years. You'll see a lot of that. With Tristan before he knew how to grow a beard. You'll see that. Hannah laughed cruelly at him. Anyway, so yeah, you'll get a load of that. But anyway, behind the scenes, there's always been family members around and near me during my work, and continues to be that way this day. We love Up TV Faith and Family, because it reflects our actual genuine values. I'm not here because I am trying to promote the Locator and Last Hope and the Locator Foundation. I'm here because I love the fact that the good people of Up share our values, that they have committed themselves. And I know almost everybody there, from the founder and the CEO right down to the social media team. And I can tell you that they represent the values that the Dunn family cherishes. And I love to celebrate and elevate anybody who is out promoting great values. And if you feel the same way, then the fastest way you can do that is to get the Faith and Family app downloaded so that your family can begin to appreciate some of the great content that's out there. And in the process of doing that, you'll get to know my family, because you'll meet Jennifer and all the kids, and you'll watch them actually grow quite a bit during the series of The Locator. And yeah, I think we'll get to know each other a little bit better. I will tell you 2 quick things, because I get asked this all the time. So when you watch an episode of The Locator or Last Hope, you will see that once I reunite the family, I walk off camera, I walk away. As I said earlier to you, the one thing that I'm proud of about our shows is that they're real. Unlike some people who have reality TV and the entire thing is bogus and fake and scripted, ours is a real experience. We're not filming a show, we're reuniting a family, and cameras happen to be there to capture it. When we first started it, somebody at the network, it wasn't Up, it was a different television network, said to me, we're not real crazy about the fact that after the reunion, you just kind of disappear. Like, we'd like you to stay there and talk to them and answer questions. And I said, no, nope, not who my mama raised me to be. Once we have reunited a family, our work is done. My work is finished. And frankly, at that point, I feel like, again, it's the Lord's work, and he's the one that's created the opportunity for this family. And the last thing they need is me standing there looking at both of them and waiting for them to look over at me and go, Troy, thank you so much. It's not appropriate, and it's uncomfortable. So they said, so you're just going to walk away? I'm like, I'm out of there. I want out. I want to do what we're here to do and get out. And I said, if you want to capture it, you can capture it. And if you don't, you don't. But I'm not coming back. I'm not going to fake it. We're never going to do that. When I leave, that will be the last time I see those families. So when you watch these episodes and you see me leave at the end, I really left. I just want you to know that was not a TV moment. That wasn't created for drama. I never saw any of those families again, except a couple of them who invited me to some personal, I think I went to one wedding. The other ones came on, I think, Oprah with me. I don't know. They came on a talk show with me. But except for them, I've never seen them again. And you'll see several families who are granting wishes for terminally ill folks. And those people are not living anymore. You're going to see the last powerful moment of their lives that we happen to capture on tape, on video. And you'll see that as you watch some of these episodes. But yeah, I really do leave. It's for real. They don't even notice it. The guys in the family being reunited never notices. Suddenly I'm just gone. Here's what happens. This is more information than you need, but off camera and around a corner, there is a person who's crouching down, who's waiting for me to walk by. And as soon as I do, they quietly and quickly pull my microphone off of me. They hand me keys. They point to a parked car. That's my rental car that they've teed up for me. Usually if it's in the summertime, the AC is already running. There's a 6-inch tuna fish sandwich from Subway sitting in the center console and a Coke Zero. And there's the GPS is set to my phone to the airport. I get in, I run around and I whisper hug everybody on the crew that's not currently shooting the family being reunited. I give them our I love you sign, jump in the car, go to the airport and fly home until the next reunion. That's the last time I see those families again. So I just want you to know, when you watch these episodes of Last Hope and The Locator on Up Faith and Family, that is all 100% real. And there are not a lot of reality shows that can say that, but it's important to us to be authentic. So, okay. I think I've used up more than enough of your live time today. Hannah, Tristan, anything that I've missed? Okay. All right. Thank you, my dear friends at Up TV, for letting me come and hang out with everybody. One more reminder, the Locator Foundation can be reached at thelocator.org, thelocator.org, whether you need help reuniting with somebody or you want to be a volunteer or you are that miracle that we need to donate funds to us. Whatever the case may be, please come check us out at thelocator.org. Most importantly, go get, oh, my phone went dark. Go get your Up Faith and Family app downloaded and let your family discover some of the greatest content they'll ever watch on any streaming platform in the world. If you only have one, make it be Up Faith and Family. If you want two, go pick your Netflix and your Hulu, but those will become backups for you, I promise. You will find that most of the content you'll watch from this day forward will be on Up Faith and Family. It's that great, I promise you. And maybe I'll pop back in here again in the future and we'll chat about some of the episodes as they're airing on Up Faith and Family. Until then, God bless you. God bless your family. Thanks for spending some time with me. And remember, you cannot find peace until you find all the pieces. Take care.